Hey everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron, and today we're going to be finishing up the last couple things that we need to do on the Scout before it can head off to Tennessee to the body shop. So before we get into that, I'm going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway again in this video. If you're new to the channel and don't know, I've been doing a t-shirt giveaway on the last couple videos. And all you have to do to be eligible to win the t-shirt is leave a comment, hit the like button, and be subscribed. So I'll announce the winner of the t-shirt giveaway from the last video at the end of this video. And other than that, make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment, and you'll have a chance to win a t-shirt. So first thing we're gonna do is take these custom bumpers that were built by somebody else. I'm not taking any credit for this. I didn't have anything to do with it. But custom bumpers, they were welded on. As you can see, this, I cut it off right here where it was welded, and then I cut it here, and I cut it right here. So what I need to do now, I cleaned all that up. And I put this piece of angle iron on the front because the plate on the bumper that was welded here will sit on top of this, and I can drill down through it, and the bumper and the winch will mount to that. There's these holes right here in this plate, and now I'm gonna set that up there, mark those, and we'll drill all the way down through, and those bolts will come through the bottom and go all the way up into the winch. So should be nice and stout. I gotta grind and clean up all this, grind and clean up those, and then I'm gonna cut out some brackets that are going to weld onto the bumper side on the outside, and then they'll come over this, and then I'm gonna drill and tap this. I might have to put some more weld on that. I don't think so though, I think it's fine. I have to drill, I'm gonna drill and tap this 2 or 3 bolts, and then we'll have our 2 bolts here, and that's what's gonna hold that front bumper on. So yeah, it's welded good. It just didn't look like it in the front where I cut it. So anyways, that's what we're doing. I'm gonna get the grinder out, start grinding on that front bumper. When we get the front bumper all done and mounted, then we're gonna move on to the rear bumper, and there's a lot of work to do on this bumper back here also. It's also been welded on, but it goes through this factory brace kind of deal and goes in and is welded to the frame way back under here. Well, I guess it's halfway welded to the frame. So we're going to do some different stuff there too. So we'll get to that when we get to that. First things first, I'm gonna start cleaning up everywhere that I cut on that. We'll bring it up here, hang it from the cherry picker or something to hold it, line it up, figure out what we're gonna do to make our mounts, and then that's what we'll do. I got my bumper hanging from the cherry picker. I'm just gonna get it up here. Try to get it lined up the best that I can. Alright, I'm going to do some measuring. I have this lined back up where it was, but I'm looking at the body and it doesn't look straight. So I'm going to do some measuring and see what it looks like. If I need to, move it a little bit more to make it better, then I can do that, because right now I'm perfectly lined up with where it was and it visually doesn't look right to me. So I'm going to take some measurements, see where we're at, and then we'll move on from there. Alright, I took my measurements. Everything's square and straight and whatever else, so I don't want to move anything. I've got a center punch here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to mark these 2 holes. Nice marks. Now I'll move my bumper back out of the way and I can drill those holes to 3/8, which is what these are. And once I drill those, then I can bring the bumper back up here. I can put those 2 bolts in. That should hold it, and we should be able to get the cherry picker out of the way. Maybe, hopefully. And then we'll go on and start making our templates to make our new mounting brackets. Alright, I got the bumper set back up here. Pretty well got the holes lined up. And this isn't the permanent hardware that's going to be on here. This is just what I got laying around. Because like I said, the bolts that go into the winch are actually going to go, the bolts are going to come up from the bottom, go through both of these plates, and then go into the winch. So these are just bolts just for now to mount it up. So. Down a little bit. Alright. Snug these down real quick. Alright, now I think the way that's on there, I should be able to take the cherry picker off. See, I can get you guys where we can see quite a bit of this. Okay. I think I should be able to let the cherry picker down. And the bumper should stay right there. I don't think it's got anywhere it can go. Especially since it's already hanging, there's no weight on it right now. Alright. Cherry picker is off. Okay. The bumper's mounted. I mean, I guess that's good enough. I don't need any more than that, does it? I don't think that would hold up very well when you start winching on it. So we're going to get set up over here, and I'll show you guys what we're gonna do. Okay, got myself a piece of cardboard here, and I kind of already cut it to the length that I need it. So I'm just gonna lay this up here, and I'm gonna put a mark there, and then I can tell by going from here to here that I need to come up like an inch. So I'm going to mark that right around an inch, and then what I'll do is I'll take this and this, now I'm going to straighten that out first off, and then I'll go cut that out. We'll see how that fits, see if there's any other modifications we need to make to it. Okay. That should be pretty good. Right about there. So I'm going to take and make a mark down here. So I can cut it off on the bottom, and I'll know about where I need to be. I actually traced the edge of this, but I'm going to shorten it up just a little bit so that I can, at least over here, so I've got room to weld, because I'm going to weld it to this side, and then we're going to bolt it here. So I'm going to leave myself, that's part of the reason I left the gap here, because when I weld this bracket on here, I can weld this back side in here really good, and it won't be interfering here. So I'm going to get this trimmed up, and we'll check it again, and yeah, trim it up, check it again, and make sure we're good, and then we'll transfer this onto some metal and start cutting it up. Okay, I got this all trimmed out and marked out and everything where I want it. So now I'm going to go ahead and trace it onto my steel. I'm not expecting to get all these intricate designs I got on here with the torch. I'm going to get it cut close, and then I'll put it on the bandsaw. I finally got a new blade for my bandsaw. I'll put it on the bandsaw over there and get it the rest of the way. Alright, that should get me close. Alright, ready to, I let these cool off from torching them while I went to lunch. Came back, grounded the back side so they were nice and flat, and then now I'm going to go ahead and cut the actual shape out on the bandsaw. I already did this one, so now we're going to knock this one out real quick. All right, got both of those cut out. Almost perfect. We'll clean them up a little bit and we'll get them welded on that bumper. All right, well, I remembered after I told you I was getting ready to weld those on that I needed to drill holes in them because that's how it's mounting to the frame. And I figured it'd be easier to do on my drill press than try to drill them later, since I already have to drill through that 1/2 inch plate and whatnot on the frame side. So I went ahead, got those drilled, and then I got the welder out and I went ahead and just tacked them on top and bottom, just so I know they're on there where they need to be. I got my holes where we're gonna mount the bumper. I did both sides, so now I didn't clean up that metal. I cleaned up the metal, the brackets that I made, but I didn't clean up on the bumper except for where I cut it. So I'm going to take it off, get the grinder in there, clean it up, and then I'm gonna weld it all the way around. And on the inside, on the back side, on both sides. So I'll get her cleaned up. I'll do a little time lapse of the welding after I pull it off and clean it up, and show you guys what we got. And comes the fun part, drilling and tapping 1/2 inch plate. So, but it's all part of it. We'll get it. See you in a minute. Got these, I can't even see where I'm at. Got these all welded up all the way around. So that's all done. Next thing I got to do is drill and tap the frame over here, and we're getting close, because once I drill and tap the frame, then we're done, really. I mean, bumpers get sent off to get powder coated, truck gets sent off to get paint and body. Comes back, we bolt them on. So I'm gonna start drilling and tapping on this. I'll see how it goes. If it's going somewhat smooth, I'll bring you guys along. If it's not going smooth, I'll probably just do it, and we'll see. I'll film some of it. I'll show you what I'm doing, but I got these plates here. I center punched them. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I center punched them while the bumper was on, so that they were exact. Gotta drill the holes and tap them to 1/2 inch thread. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get to it. All right, time to drill and tap some holes. I got all that drilling and tapping done on the front of the frame. I didn't film any of it, and it's a good thing I didn't, because even if I would have time lapsed it, it would have been a 30-minute time lapse. It literally took me about 30 minutes per hole to tap those, and I had 4 holes, so I've got 2 hours just in tapping these holes. But I got those 2 done. I actually had a drill bit break off in this one, so I had to fight getting the drill bit out and everything, but we got it tapped clean. You guys saw that I had all that all welded up on the bumper already, So literally all we got left to do on the front bumper is hang it from the cherry picker, bring it over here, make sure all the bolt holes line up and we don't have to relief anything, and mount it. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna get the front bumper hanging from the cherry picker. We're gonna bring it over here and bolt it on the truck. As you saw in the little video of me hanging the bumper there, it's hung up, it's all done. You might have noticed I was having a little bit of trouble getting this bolt in, and that's the one that had the drill bit broke off in, and I had to go to extreme measures to get that drill bit out, and the hole wasn't perfect. It was off by, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch. It wasn't even an eighth, it was like a 1/16. It was just enough the bolt wouldn't go in. So I just got in there with a little die grinder and just opened that hole up just a little bit, and everything else lined up perfect. So it's just on there to be test fitted. Everything's tight, it's mounted, but it's just on there to be test fitted because the bumpers are coming back off and they're going to get powder coated while the Snake here goes to get body and paint work. All right, front bumper's all finished up. It turned out great, I'm happy with it. Excuse me. And now we're gonna move on to the back bumper. The back bumper is gonna be pretty much the same, but different. No. So what I'm gonna do on the back bumper is, this is actually this is a pretty heavy duty cross member right here. I mean, it's got the body mounted to it. It's like frame rail thick and it's solid. So what they did when they welded these bumpers on is they slotted this, ran it through, and then kind of sort of put some weld on the frame there. We're gonna do things a little different on the back than we did on the front. I'm gonna cut these off flush with this bumper deal here. I'm gonna get this bolt out of the way, obviously, and then I'm gonna make plates that I have to go wider than the frame rail here because it's boxed in. I can't get to the inside of it to put nuts on. So I'm gonna come out here past the frame far enough for a bolt and nut, and come over here far enough for a bolt and nut, and then we'll weld those plates onto the bumper, and we'll drill holes in this back here. We'll bolt it on, and there you have it. We'll have our rear bumper bolted on instead of welded on. So first thing I'm gonna do is measure for my plates, which need to be about 7 inches long and 4 inches tall. And that'll give us what we're gonna need. So I'm gonna go cut 2 plates that are approximately 7 by approximately 4 inches out of my piece of plate I got out here. Once again, I'll rough cut it with the torch and then take it over to my bandsaw and clean cut it. And well, basically the same thing that we did on the other one, and then we'll have our plates and we'll get ready to start doing that. Alrighty. If any of this transition from working on the front bumper to working on the back bumper doesn't seem like it fits or seems weird or whatever, I ran into a stopping point on the front bumper. I don't remember what it was. I had to let something cool off or do something, so I kind of started working on the back, and I tried to, you get it. If it don't jive, it's my fault. But anyways, I got my plates rough cut and marked, so I'm going to go back with the bandsaw now. We'll get them cut out, and then I'm going to put them up on the back of the Scout there and mark where I want my holes to be drilled and where it needs to be, where the bumper needs to be welded to this so that it is in the right spot so everything's even and whatever. So I'm gonna get these cut and then we'll go over there and start doing some marking. Next thing I'm doing, you may notice I got my cherry picker on here hanging the rear bumper. So we're gonna go ahead, I gotta take and cut these off right here. That's why we got it outside. Try not to cut and grind in the shop. So I gotta cut that free. I'm gonna try doing it with a Sawzall because it'll give me a lot cleaner cuts. If it doesn't work with a Sawzall, we'll get the torch out and blow it off. But I'm gonna try a Sawzall, see if we can't get that cut off, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so got my plates here, and I'm going to line them up with the inside of this body mount, just because that way I can make sure they're in the same spot on both sides. And then I'm clear to put my holes on this side right about here, and I'm clear on this side right about here. Now what I'm going to do, slowly bring this straight down. Oh, maybe I'm not clear. There. Okay. I can put my hole about there, and about there. And then that's where that's going to need to be welded, so I'll mark this straight, I'll mark this straight, and then I'll put 4 holes in this. I don't want to just copy that and make it for the other side, because even though it should be exactly the same, probably not going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this side too, and then we'll get these drilled. And I don't have to do anything for where this was, because I'm just going to grind this down smooth, and then the bumper itself will be welded to the plate. So I'm going to get this other side marked. I'll go get these all set up. Not going to make you guys watch me drill them, because this is hardened steel and it doesn't drill worth a crap, but it's what I have to work with, and I know it's heavy duty. So let me get the other side marked. I'll go get these plates ready to go, and then we'll bring them back and go from there. Okay, I struggled a little bit with drilling the holes through the hardened steel. It's AR plate, but finally gave up, took a torch, cut the holes, and I still did a pretty good job. They're not all blown out nasty. I torched them as close as I could to the actual bolt size, and then took a burr bit and cleaned them up, but they go in there good. They don't have any slop in them. And then I just kept with it, I held the plates up onto the frame here with some vice grip pliers, drilled the holes, put a couple bolts in. They're in now. So the next thing I'm going to do is come back here on the bumper and take my grinder and just clean up around the edge on both sides, so that I've got good clean metal to weld to. And after we get that cleaned up, we'll put it back up on the back of the truck and I was gonna like tack them on, take it off and weld the bumper, but I think I can probably get in there and weld it just as good with it up on the truck as I can with it sitting on the floor. So we'll see how it goes. I may take it back off. I may just weld it on the truck. So we'll see. All right. I got 4 good tacks on it. And we're about to find out how good my tacks really are. Because I'm about to try to get this cherry picker out of my way. Well, apparently they're good enough because it didn't fall off yet. Alright, cue the music, time to weld this thing up. Alright. I love doing fab work, I really do. It's time consuming, takes a long time. It's just modifying these bumpers to bolt on instead of weld on was a full 2 days. I mean, a lot of it was drilling and tapping holes in the front and whatnot, but still, it was I wouldn't say 2 full days. I probably got a good 12 hours in it, maybe a little more, but it turned out pretty good. I mean, what can you say? It looks exactly like it did before we started, but now the bumpers are removable like my buddy wanted them to be, and they can get taken off and sent out to powder coat. And then when this thing comes back from the body shop with its sexy new paint job on it, we'll have some sexy new freshly powder coated bumpers, and everything will look good. So there's still a couple things I gotta do. When they made this bumper, I may have mentioned this before, when they made this rack here, it has the wrong bolt pattern on it. It doesn't fit the wheels that are on the Scout. So I gotta redo that. I'm only gonna do 2 studs. There's really no need for 3. So I'm just gonna figure out what the spacing needs to be. I'll pop 2 of the studs off. I'll come off this one, come up, put the stud where we need to be. And that'll be that. And then down here, it's got a stud going through with a lug nut on it, and that's what holds this. And if you want to open it to open the tailgate, you got to take the nut off and you got to open it and swing it and all that. So I've already came up with another latch idea for that, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But that's all quick, easy little stuff we don't need to film. If you guys are excited about it, seeing what kind of latch deal I use and whatnot, leave me a comment about it, and I'll show you guys what I do when it's done. So no big deal. One quick thing I want to do before I end this video, and I posted a picture of this on the social medias, and I had a lot of people, I just posted it up there like, hey, look what I did. And I had a lot of people commenting on the social medias, guessing what it was and so on and so forth. And I also posted a picture not too long ago of a Chevy V6 painted yellow on there. Well, that's a 94 4.3 Vortec motor, which is gonna go into one of them square bodies we got sitting out over there, along with a bunch of other work, and that's gonna be my nephew's first truck. Jacob, if you're watching the video, I wanna tell you congratulations on getting your license today, buddy. And we'll get your truck knocked out so you can have it. But his aspirations are to become a mobile welder. He's taking welding classes. It's his last year of school, high school, and he wants a square body truck with a flatbed on it so he can put a welder on the back and go do mobile welding, and by golly, we're gonna give him one. But he wants to pay for everything himself, which I admire, and I'm trying to help him out without spending money, because he doesn't want me to spend money, he wants to pay for it. But if I have stuff that I can give him, then I'm not spending money. So the 4.3 Vortec, I got in a trade deal when I got a transmission for Pennywise, which I'm gonna show you guys some other time. I got that 4.3 motor, I checked it all out, it's good. So we're gonna put it in that truck instead of running with the TBI, we're switching it over to carbureted. Well, for a carbureted intake for a 4.3, best I could find is like $400 or $500, and we don't want to go that route. So what I did is I made this adapter plate. It's going to sit down on here. I got to trim the intake out a little bit so the ports match, but right now the ports match the carburetor. So we'll do that. And then we're gonna weld this sucker all the way around there. Obviously the intake's gonna get bead blasted and cleaned up and all that, but then we're gonna weld this, after I port match it, we're gonna weld this on here. I already got it drilled and tapped for carb studs. We have a carbureted intake for a 4.3 Vortec. So, not that this matters, I'm not really doing anything with this on the channel yet. We are gonna have his truck on the channel when we actually get to working on it. You guys have seen it before. I'm not gonna go into that right now because that's just extending the video longer. We don't need to. When we get ready to work on it, I'll tell you guys that it's his truck and all that. But anyways, congrats on getting your license today, Jake. Proud of you, buddy. But that's it. We're done with this. Bumpers are on. Not gonna say best looking welds I've ever done, but they're definitely not the worst. I can say that too. So they turned out pretty good. They look good. Once you get powder coat on them, they'll look like a professional did it. And we all know I ain't no professional, so be good. I've already showed you guys this. This bumper's all mounted. It's on. It's good to go. I'm doing a lot of blabbing. And the only reason you guys are still watching this video is because you want to find out who won the t-shirt this round. And I'm going to tell you. But first, one last thing. We're doing a t-shirt giveaway in this video too. If you watched the beginning of the video, you already heard me mention that. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the like button. And make sure you leave me a comment and you'll be entered to win a t-shirt. And with all that being said, the winner of this video's t-shirt giveaway is Tracy R. Tracy R. So Tracy, get a hold of me and we'll get you a shirt. But with all that being said, and all the yada yada blah 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 going on, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.